Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Minecraft Creeper and Villager. Now, I'm going to confess to you that I've actually never played Minecraft. So I don't exactly follow the characters, don't really understand it. I do remember that it is a game that has lots of blocky, kind of Lego-like structures, and it makes Sleuth looks extremely out of place right now. Now, today's puzzle from Willpower actually came recommended from him. He suggested that we have a look at it. Looks from the variants. Okay, looks from the rule sets to be relatively straightforward, which is exactly what you want from a Monday morning puzzle. Anything else to mention before we crack on? I admit, I initially made the mistake thinking that this is Minesweeper, and I got excited. And then, I'll be honest, I got a little bit disappointed when I realized it was Minecraft, not Minesweeper. I do love Minesweeper. Let's take a look at today's puzzle and rule set with Minecraft Creeper and Villager from Willpower. Now, you've got kind of two references here. I think this is meant to be the Creeper head, kind of the green. This is the Villager with the green eyes. That looks, I'll be honest, that looks more like a Creeper than this thing is. And the rules are as follows. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row. Every column, of course, every 3 by 3 box. Then we've got German whispers. So that's the creeper head outline. Numbers on the green line are at least 5 apart from their neighbors. So if this cell is a 2, for example, the 2 adjacent neighbors would have to be 5 or more away, such as 7, 8, or 9. Pink lines, which is the villager head outline, numbers on pink lines are at least 3 apart. So a 2 would give us neighbors that are 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. And unlike German whispers, where we oscillate between low digits and high digits, with no 5s on them, clearly this is entirely allowed on the pink line. So this is going to be quite interesting. Grey cells, so the grey cells are even. So these 3 cells have to be from 2, 4, 6, and 8, for example, as do all the remaining grey cells. What else can we see? Dark green cells. Dark green cells are greater than 5. So at least it gives us polarity very quickly on the German whisper line. So all of these cells have to be from 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, this is going to be a quick puzzle, I suspect. Killer cages, so numbers in cages sum to the number in the top left corner of the cage. No need to mention that digits do not repeat because they're always in the same box, kind of row or column. So these 2 cells must add up to 7. No negative constraints for any of the rules. So, as always, to play along, link in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. Now, I noticed, I'm going to do this. 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's do that. 3 cells, 3 even cells that add up. Well, actually, no, I don't actually know that. I was going to say these 2 cells add up to 10. For a second, I was thinking it's actually these 3 cells, not 2. So that's not going to work. These are 4 even digits in the row, so the 6 cage is 1, 5. Now, the high cells are 6, 7, 8, 9. On German whispers, whenever we have 2 neighbors that can see each other, we know that they cannot be 6s. No 6s in actually any of these. Interesting. No 1. So that can't be 7 because we require a 1, 2 neighbor. That, however, could be 7 because that could be the 2, that could be the 1. Interesting. That could also be a 7 with a 2 and a 1. Not too sure what's going on, actually. Let's have a think. So on this pink line, there is an even digit. Because I've only got 3 of them in row 4. So there will be an even digit, but just 1. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this. Essentially, I'm looking at the 26 cage, and either it's 4 odds, which is possible, or it's 2 evens, 2 odds, which is also possible. Let's stick to German whispers. There's got to be something in here. So no 1. So these are from 2, 3, 4. Now I can't use the 4 because that would require a double 9 here or there. So this is a 2, 3 pair, removing the 2 option, removing the 8 option. This is 4, 6. This is not 4 or 6 anymore, it's 2 or 8. 7, 8, 9. This is 7, 8, 9 as well. Essentially, it's whatever this cell is. One of them is a 3, meaning it would be 8 and 9 surrounding it. And obviously, one of these is a 7. So that's not a 7. These are low digits, but they can frankly be pretty much anything other than 4. So this is 1, 2, 3, meaning there's a definite 1 because I've already got a 2, 3 in here. And I've actually got 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. This is 4, 5, 6. I am pencil marking way more than I normally would at this point. So remember, there's a 2, 8 in here. Why is that significant? Haven't got a clue. So if this is 7, this is 7. And if this is not 7, this is 7. So this is never 7. It's either this is 7 or this is 7. I mean, we've got 1, 2, 3s, all of these. This is fascinating so far. Is that the only place for a 5 in box 1? And it was just hiding in plain sight. That's a 5. There is no 2 in here. There's a definite 4, in fact. And of course, I said there is a 1 in here, so that's not a 1. So we have, in the rest of this, is 7, 8, 9, and 4, 5, 6. Because we only got 2 of the 7, 8, 9s. Now, 7, 8, 9 in a 7-cell cage, none of them are going to be here. So this is 4, 5, 6 with 1, 2, 3. As you can see, I'm kind of dismissing the pink line. I don't know how this is going to be useful at all, frankly. I'm sure it will be at some point, but it just feels way too premature to be studying it just yet. So there's a 5 on this pink line. Notice how I immediately jump to it in box 5. This is a low digit. That can't be a 4. So this is 1, 2, 3. So this is not a 2. And then the 5 needs... It's not necessarily 2 neighbors. I only need 1 neighbor if the 5 is on the edge. Now, a 5 in the middle would require 2 neighbors, one that's low, one that's high. So is that even possible? No, because the 1, 2, 3 eliminates the possibility of a 2-digit. Well, actually, I could get away with a 5 with an 8, 9, but that also breaks. And 7 is too close. So I think that removes the 5 from the middle, certainly. And therefore there's a 5 around it. I'm going to say that's going to force an 8, 9 in the middle. Because the lower cells, kind of 3 or more away from the 5, 1, 2, 3, not including a 3, are not available in column 5. And then 7 and 6 are too close. So it's 4, of course. So that gives me an 8, 9 pair. That gives me my first, well, actually my second digit to be fair. That's a 5. That's not an 8, because we've got an 8, 9 pair. Then essentially I've got 5 and a 4, 6. Now the 5 is clearly too close to the 4, 6. So one is a 5, one is a 4, 6. 6 works. I could do 6, 9, 5. So it's not forcing anything in here. Okay. What more do I want? So let's have a think about this. We've got 1 in here for sure. We've got another 7, 8, 9. Not necessarily. I could have 9, 8, 7. But if I don't have an 8 in here, I would have 1, 2, 5, and 3. They're all too close together, aren't they? Other than the 5, so essentially these are the remaining digits. If this is a 8, these are the remaining digits. How can they be 3 or more apart? Because the only ones are 3 or more apart are the 5 and the 1s and 2s. So even if the 5's in the middle, I could have 1 and 2, but 3, where am I going to place it? Too close to the 1 and 2. So that can't be an 8. That is definitely a 2. And it means, essentially, I'm going to have like 1, 7, 8, 9. 1 and 3 are definitely on here. Plus a 5. Plus a 7, 8, 9. Now the 3 is too close to all of the digits I just listed, other than the 7, 8, 9. So the 7, 8, 9 is somewhere in the middle, essentially with the 3 either end, then the 7, 8, 9 next to it, then depending on obviously what the 7, 8, 9 is, it could have the 5 next to it, because it could be an 8 after all, and then a 1. But it could also be kind of the other way around, if that made sense. So that's kind of correct pencil marks, of which one of them is definitely a 3. This is highly unusual. I wasn't expecting something to be this intricate, given the plethora of of clues that we actually have in here. So this is highly unexpected. No 3s, of course, next to the 7. That's the only place for a 3. That's not my 3. That is my 3. Next to it is the 7, 8, 9. Next to it is the 1, 5. Yes, because the 1 and the 5 are too close to the 3. So that is a 1, 5 pair. That is 7, 8, 9. Yeah. Do I know anything else? That's not a 2. There is a 2 in here. How did I place a 3 next to a 2, 3 pair? Who knows? Rewind. Let's try that again. Two, 3 pair definitely gives me 1. So it's the 7. How did I get to a 7 in here? I don't understand. Seems to have appeared out of nowhere. The 8, 9 pair. And because of the 5 and the lack of ability of 1, 2, and 3, it required another 8, 9. And I said this is not 7. And if it's not 7, what does it do? Nothing. You see, if it is 7, I was making the assumption that this 7, 8, 9 is the same as this cell. It doesn't have to be. It could be the same as this cell. So that was a mistake. And it doesn't mean that there is an 8, 9 pair. And I guess that being 7 is not exactly earned yet. That was just a mistake. However, 8 with 7, 9, 7, 9, and then forcing the 1, 3, 5s in here, plus a 2 is earned. So I know still that this is a 2, and therefore this is not a 2. There has to be a 2 up here. I'm comfortable with that. And then the 2, 3 pair gives me a 1. No 1, therefore no 7, because there's a definite 3. That does give me an 8, 9 pair. That gives me a 7 in here, a 2, a 3. No 7. No 7 is a 7. Yep. Not 2, not 3. In fact, 2, 1, 3, 2. 8, 9, 8, 9, 3. Yeah, that's all looking good. 8, 9 pair. Can't be a 7 in here. Could be a 7. Not sure I can do much more just yet. Right, so we have an 8 or 9, which sadly means that the 8 or 9 is close enough to the 5. So I can't exactly force it. Sorry, give me a moment, please. Just need to hit. Thank you. No ones, no ones. 3 is in one of 2 places. These are all evens. This is not a 2. This is 4, 6, 8. Unclear still. Of course, not an 8 because of the 8, 9 pair. And then 5 with a 4, 6. Okay. Any clue what's going on with all of this? 13 cage, not helpful. These can't do anything for it. 6 cage, 7 cage. Feels like the aggregate should be helpful, but 4 cells in 13 is not exactly useful. Is it? I think it guarantees a 1 in one of them. 2, 3, 4, 5 is too big, isn't it? That's 14. So there's definitely a 1 in one of these. And that's about the only thing that I can guarantee. 2 is in here. Not very useful. 26 cage, I've kind of ignored it long enough, haven't I? No, I'm still not seeing it. 5 gives me 1, gives me 5. 1 and 3. And then again, no clue. How are we doing? 14 minutes. I thought this would be a lot simpler, by the way, for Monday. Kind of smirking to myself about how badly I've misjudged this one. Right. Let's do a bit of Sudoku. That's probably what I'm not doing enough of. No 2. No 8, in fact, with the 8, 9 pair. 8, 9 pair in row 2. That's not an 8. Am I going to color some of these? Feels like I should. 4 and 6 means not a 6. 7, 8, 9 triple. 4, 6 pair. That was apparently there for the taking a while ago. 1, 2, 3. 7, 8, 9. That means that's not an 8. 7 is in one of these, and that was apparently clear from the beginning with the 7, 8, 9 triple. Don't know how I missed that as well. Yeah, it's half tempting to color at this point. Really is. It's just there's an overwhelming amount of color as it is. To be able to see my colors on top of it. So that's not going to be easy. It's starting to feel like it's necessary though. Right, so we're going to pencil mark these. These are 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't want to pencil mark these. Obviously no 7 here, but that's hardly useful. And this is a 3, 9 pair. Let's do that. In a way, it kind of gives me polarity in a really, really small way. Can I do a 3 in here? 3 cells that add up to 23 would be the remainder, wouldn't it? And it'd be 6, 8, 9. Which is, I'm going to say, impossible. Because the 8 can't be next to the 6 or the 9, and it's going to have to be neighbored with one of them. So that can't be the 3, that's the 9. That's the 3. So no 3 here. Is a 3 there? Then it's the 8 or 9, but it's not a 9, it's an 8. Then it's a 1-5 pair in any order, but the 1 tells us it's 5 and 1. Not 1, not 6. Now we have 17, 20, that's a 6. These are not 6s, don't need a pencil, or 8s for that matter, 2, 4. That's 6, that's 8. That's a 4-5 pair. That's not an 8. And then we had something about, oh, hang on, the 8 gave me 9, 8, 9, 8. No 8s. 7, 9 pair. And then a digit, I could just place 4. And then 7 and something. 5 and 7. Doesn't quite help me up here yet. But finally, we're making some progress. That 9, of course, gave me 8 and 9. I don't think that there's no mention of the fact that green, light green, is low digits, even if it happens to be the case. Obviously, we've got a 5, so that doesn't necessarily mean it's 1 or 4. It can still be 6 or 7, or 5 for that matter. Let's keep going. 3, 6, 9. The 9 is not hugely useful. Like every digit almost is lower than it. Well, 3 or more away. So that's essentially 1, 2, 4, 5, and that's it. Not 3, not 6. Yeah, not useful. Not 8 either in here. Is that getting towards something? Almost, not quite. No 5s is a 5. There is a 1, a 4, 6, and a 7. That's not a 7. And then in here I have a 1 with a 4, 6, and a 7. 1 and 7 again. Then another 6, 9. And a 3. Okay. Still not getting a significance of these. 1, 3, 4, 5 also works, doesn't it? Would have the 1 and 5 with a 3 and 4. Yeah. Is this significant? Hang on, I think it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 cells. These 5 cells basically have to add up to 15. Do they? Let's try 6 and 1. What happens if I do that? Then I could have a 2, 4, and a 5. For a second there, I was tempted to make this a 2. But no, because I can get away with a 6 inside the 7 cage. It's fine. So either this has a 6, these 4 cells have a 6, which, as I've just demonstrated, would be 6 and 1, 2, 4 pair, and therefore this would be 5. The other option is they don't have a 6, in which case I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cells that add up to 15, in which case, because these are 13, this would have to be a 2. It's a very odd kind of deduction, but I feel confident about it. Sort of. Eight's in one of 2 cells. Just doesn't feel like there's enough information on here, despite the huge number of clues. So I'm going to have to try and... Oh, actually 4. 9. We're not going to mention it, are we? 2, 3. And then 1, 6, 7. 7 nines, no, nothing. The 9, no 9, no 9. Again, almost, but not quite. Right, I think I'm happy with the Sudoku at this stage. I am meant to use the variance a bit to make some progress somehow. No ones. We've established that the ones have to be in there. Just not a huge amount of information, really. Not too sure. No 8s. No 8s. No 8s. Still too many places for it. And 8 is definitely far enough from both the 2 and the 5. Then back to a low digit inside the 7 cage is just not useful. There's a 1, no. So 1, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so the only thing that's out of there is 8. This is not a 6. So 1, 2, 3, 7. And this is 1, 2, 7. No, I'm missing something more obvious. Why is the 7 cage useful? 5, 2. Gives me 4. 4, 3. Gives me 2. In essence, there's a virtual 2-4 pair, but this was never 2 or 4. There is no 2 or 4 in the column. I think that's what it's saying. You see, if this is 2-4 pair, I end up with 2 and 4 in here, and then I need to have a 3 because it's not 2, but equally a 5. So this is 1, 5. That's not 1. That 1 gave me 5 and 1. That 5 gave me a 2. This has to be a 3-4 pair. That 3 tells me 4 and 3. This is 3 or more away, but it's not 1. So this is 7 or 8. 5 has given me 7 and 5, as well as 3 and 4, 2 and 4. Lovely. In here I need another 6, 7, 8, and a 9. That's the only place for a 9. This is 6, 7, 8. That is a triple. So this is not 6 or 7. That's a 1. That's not a 1 or 2. That's a 3. That can't be a 6, and this is a 4-5 pair. That was hard earned, I'm going to say. This is not 7, meaning this is 6 or 8. I can't even see what's in the cage, by the way, so I'm going to delete it. That's 13. So if it is 8, that's 5. That's no longer true. That's 6, that's 7, that's 1, that's 7, that's 6. Hasn't helped. Oh, yes, it has. Finally, 9 and 7. My only place for an 8. Not a 7 or a 2. That's a 1. That's a 2. Need 5 and a 9. That's 6, 8, 7. 6 and 8 gives me a 7 in here. 8 in there. 9. 8 in there. Both still work, the 4 and 5, but that's thankfully resolved. As is this. As is this. And here, and here. And if I've not made any mistakes, we are going to wrap up with a 5 at the end. Much harder than I was expecting given the plethora of clues. I think it's just lack of familiarity with this pink line. Hope you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video, and I'll see you back soon. Bye-bye for now. Sorry, that's me trying to fix something quickly.